So I am going to have my second part of blended families. It was a topic that I posted about earlier. If you saw that, if not, I will try to link it below. I'm still very new at this, so show me some grace. Hopefully that will work out. I never really understood what a blended family meant because blending meant to me something very smooth, and I thought that it was going to be until I was part of it. And then I realized that at each level of life transition, you actually start over. And when you become a step parent, you are starting from scratch. Life lessons continue to repeat themselves for me until I get them. Every transition, I am starting from scratch. And that was one of, I don't know, second or third, fourth, but it was huge because it involved other people, not just myself. I read something this weekend that really resonated with me, that presence is important. It's not necessarily perfection. And I don't know that my husband or my kids ever expected me to be perfect, which I most definitely was not. But I was present. I was as present as I could be. I was probably more present with them than I was with most others because I had made that choice and decision, and I was going to make that work. You don't know me, but when you get to know me, once I make a decision, I am all in. And that was the decision that I had made. And it was very important to me to commit to the success as they wanted it to be, which means different to every child, whether they're biologically yours, whether they're adopted, whether they're a stepchild, whether they are a family member that you've brought into your life in a special, I guess, role that's different, maybe aunt or cousin or whomever. It looks different for everyone. And so it doesn't have to be as hard as we make it. And it's only through looking back that I can truly resonate with the fact that it's really just life. It honestly is the same as you expect from anyone else that you deal with in a day-to-day. It's not someone who delivers 100% of the time, perfect execution. It's about presence. I'll probably say that word a few times, and intention and care for that individual. And that was what was truly important to me, because when I made that decision to become part of a family unit that I had not had history with, I had decided that I was going to give it everything that I possibly could, so that looking back, I would feel good about my contribution, even if it didn't make sense to anyone else, because I'm the one that has to go to sleep at night, and I feel very confident in good sleep is good life. I love my sleep. So it's so difficult to talk about your kids and their kids and all these other things. And we actually have to be very honest and open with this. Loving kids that aren't yours is not an automatic thing, especially when they're older. You have to get to know one another and build trust like any other relationship. And if it does not resonate in a personality from one another, that's okay, because that happens with everybody, but that does not change the commitment that you have made to be a part of that person's life. And this was one of the, and I also say and a lot, so I'm going to work on that. But one of the things that has been something I always had a certain issue with, and actually lost a friend about, is when I was asked, do you regret not having your own children? I was like, I do have my own children. They are blah, blah, blah. This person was like, no, I mean your own children, your biological child. I said, I do have my own children. I gave birth to them in their teenage years, not through my body, but because that's what God granted me. And this person was like, oh no, it's different when they're your child. I'm an Aries. The temper exploded. I have forgiven that expression, but I don't endorse it. Because what makes a child yours? And I guess this is something that's always bothered me, because I never, sorry, my hair is really getting on my nerves today. I never really wanted to get married because I did not think that was necessary to have a piece of paper to make me someone's. But my husband wanted to get married and I loved him, and so that's what we'll do. Plus, my parents probably wouldn't have spoken to me had I not, and I had just moved in. Neither here nor there. I have a list of YouTube subjects. So that was so offensive to me, because the fact that I'm not on the birth certificate or adoption papers or some type of transcript that has my name and their name, does that not mean that they're my child? And am I so insecure that I can't share a human's life with someone else that they may love? Even if I agree with what that adult decision maker does or not. I didn't agree with my husband sometimes, but that was his decision, and sometimes we went with it, sometimes we didn't. So I don't know. I guess this is a little heavy for, just the first few times of my post, but it's pretty important to me because, again, like I said in another post, and like I had told my husband when we got married, you only have your kids for a certain amount of time, and then they grow up and they have their own life and they want to live it. And we're here to bring them into the decisions that they make and just be support. Support means different to different people. I won't get into what it means for me. That then goes into love language and all of that. But to me, support was, if you need me, I'm going to be there when you really need me. I'm not necessarily going to be there just because you feel bad, because I expect you to person up and be your own person and figure things out after a certain age. But until you're at that certain age, I'll be there for you. And after that age, I'll be there for you, but it might look a little different. I'm 50 years old. I will be 51 in just a few months. And I thought I loved my 40s. I think I'm going to really adore my 50s, because it's given me greater clarity even as I move forward in life and get to see these people that I didn't know and how they have changed and their trajectory. And I got to meet one of the most special little beings of all time, and someone that I consider more special than a lot of folks that walk this earth with me. And I would not have gotten that pleasure if I wasn't a stepmom. So I say all that to say that really and truly, it's not about, to me, again, I'm just going to speak for myself. It's not about titles. It's not about ownership. It's not about what you owe to somebody. It's if you do something, do it because that's what you want to do. And then if you get no return on it, you feel just as good as if you did, because you did it for the right reasons. And I have to say, I think God, universe, your higher power, I've actually named that a few different things as I've gotten through my life. Still not sure where I'm going to land on that one, but it puts you in a place for a reason. And I think I was probably really made to be a stepmom. I felt like that was my calling. I'm pretty happy about that. I also hope that if you have entered into that phase and you're having doubts and those moments of, what am I doing? What am I supposed to do here? I'm so confused. Please know that's what we've all gone through, or at least that's what I went through. And give yourself some patience and time. Don't try to be perfect. Just try to be there. A child sees more honestly than most of us because they don't have any preconceived ideas or notions, and they just see what you're bringing to the table. And even when my husband was out of country for work, I made sure to show up for things I was invited to and wasn't invited to, because it was important to me to keep that connection, because that was important to me, because that was the commitment that I made, and that grew into something that was truly special. I'm so proud. I said this before, but I really am proud to be a stepmother. Give yourself some credit and give yourself some grace. And I bet those kids are too, and nothing else really matters. It really doesn't. It doesn't matter about the adult things and how it can get into minutia that's not needed. If you keep your eyes on the prize, which is a life, that's going to be helpful. So I will just put in a plug here at the end that has nothing to do with the topic, but I've been told that you have to find a niche or you're going to mess up the algorithm, and YouTube won't know where to place you and who to send your videos to. My niche is moving forward. 2025 was not one of my most favorite years, and I think that moving forward is my niche, because it doesn't matter if it's dealing with family, yourself, your health, your work, your trajectory. It's about moving forward. Where you're at this moment in time, where you want to be, how to move forward, and what that means to you, which is probably one of the reasons why coaching was something that spoke to me, although I did not think that it would. I just listen to the next step that's given me. It's worked out for me so far. So I will continue to. And I think that it's a good idea to maybe stop overthinking. Enjoy the moments that you have. They're not going to look like an Instagram post, except when you make it an Instagram post or a Facebook post or any of the others. You can create those and it's going to be wonderful. You'll get a lot of likes. But really, real life, oh, I said really, real life is not those posts. It's how those posts happen, which sometimes is sit and smile for the camera. But in the meantime, know that the stress of getting to that is a beautiful thing. And it's just what we call life. So just live it, enjoy it. Nothing's perfect. It's just life.